What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys had a great day so far. In today's video, we're going to be covering the What's Next in Raid video here, episode 10. Apparently it's a really big deal for them. But I also want to go over some details and some clarification that you guys might have missed about a key feature coming in Raid. But first, let's jump into this video here. It's going to be on the official Raid Shadow Legends YouTube video YouTube channel. All right, let's get going.
Hey everyone, What's Next in Raid has reached a milestone episode. It's the Big 10. This time, we've got an exclusive
Like I said, they made a big deal.
look at new champions coming to the Argonites faction, as well as a different spin on the Coalition event, and several important quality of life updates. Let's dive into it. Raid will celebrate its 7th anniversary this year. Can you believe it? And this year's theme puts our newest faction right at the forefront. As part of the celebrations, you can expect the Bastion to be decked out in resplendent marble architecture and plenty of awesome events for you to get involved in. The Argonites is a massive archipelago in the southwestern seas, home to the Argonites. Inspired by a timeless aesthetic, these mighty warriors
honestly, this background, when they previewed it back in September, it actually looks really, really cool.
Embody ancient myths and legends. Expect mortal heroes in search of fame, powerful individuals who have become unwitting idols of worship on distant isles, and everyone in between. Keep an eye out on our news and social media. We'll reveal more about the Argonites and the 7th anniversary event when the time comes.
They don't look as high def. I don't know, a little bit of lack of definition in some of these characters. It kind of feels less high def than some of the other characters they pumped out, but yeah, still look pretty cool. Unfortunately, they're all pretty much like humans, I guess, but it is what it is. It's a human faction, right? This is a really cool shield. You got Medusa's head on it. That's so awesome.
Next up, we've got a new twist coming to the Coalition event. In an upcoming first-of-its-kind Coalition event, you'll be facing off against a much tougher variant of the Demon Lord. The good news is you won't be beholden to keys or energy to take it on. Battles will get progressive.
So this part, it's basically just like a world boss, but it's not really a world boss. I think, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of cool to have a world boss. But in the end, it's basically just another form of their type of like meter to gauge our progress in the game. In this case, it's going to be damage. In other Coalition events, it was basically like, you know, farming objectives, for example, right? So this is just another iteration of that. And I would assume this boss doesn't stay in the game, unfortunately.
Progressively more difficult as special conditions come into play, and you'll need a well-rounded roster of champions to complete various challenges. Reaching specific damage milestones in each battle will earn you points, and you'll get extra points if you rack up enough damage to exceed the final milestone.
I think it's kind of cool that they offer specific kind of restrictions versus the boss. It's, again, a different play on like the Secret Room or the Centranos type of conditions for each roster. I kind of like that. So
the more points you earn, the better your personal score, and the better the rewards you'll get. Don't worry though, Coalition rewards aren't going anywhere. As the entire community reaches new milestones by taking on this demonic behemoth, everyone will unlock even more goodies too. That's the true power of friendship, folks. If you're the competitive sort who likes to pump out the biggest numbers, you can compete against other players in the Rankings tab for additional rewards. As we get closer to this new type of Coalition event, we'll reveal more details, so stay tuned. Moving on, we've got some quality of life changes that we hope you're going to be excited by. First up is the Live Arena Friendly Battles. This new feature lets you fight friends and clanmates in Live Arena whenever you want. Here's how it works. In the Live Arena window, there'll be a new Friendly Battles tab. You can access it at any time, and you don't have to spend any resources to fight in friendly battles, but you won't earn any rewards either. You can battle your clanmates via the Clan tab. If you're looking to start a fight, in a good way of course, then you can submit an application visible to all your clanmates who check out this tab. If someone
I feel this is good because it's kind of something extra in the game. And it's not really taking away anything from the players. Like, it's not giving you additional rewards. And it's not costing you rewards for not participating. So I really like this feature because it is something extra that you can do, but I don't like the idea that it's kind of something extra to do, I guess. But definitely it could be something really, really fun and engaging for people just to test out their own champions. Obviously interactions with certain things. this will definitely probably discover some maybe new interactions that people aren't aware of. So this is really cool. I think it kind of give everybody like, kind of an access to like a testing environment, which is pretty cool.
If someone accepts the challenge, you'll get a notification pop up as long as you're not in an ongoing battle. Accept it and you can get down to business. If it's bragging rights over your friends you're after, don't worry, we've got you covered. Head to the Challengers tab and search for your friends by their username. Once your friend has added you too, you're good to send.
This I can see people abusing a lot, so don't challenge me, guys. Don't challenge me.
Them a battle request directly, provided the other party is online CCs, and not otherwise engaged. You can only have a certain number of challengers though, so choose your rivals wisely. Once you and your friend have each other registered as challengers, you'll be able to send a direct live arena battle request at any time, provided you're both online, that is. One feature that's been shaped by feedback from you guys is related to fusions.
All right, so this is the big one here. I did take a look at this before the video, and I did ask some key questions, and then I did dig up some key answers here, so hopefully we can clarify some of what the video kind of alludes to.
Working on allowing you to change a current fusion champion with another champion that featured in a previous fusion or fragment event. Let's break down how it will work. First, you'll need fusion tokens. You can earn one of these every time you complete a fusion without changing the champion out. Once you have fusion tokens, you can change out fusion champions for the ones you've missed previously. Depending on the champion you want to change to, the cost will be different. There'll be 3 tiers based on a champion's strength, and changing to them will require either 1, 2, or 3 fusion tokens.
It's weird because they're saying 1, 3, like the tier 1 costs 3, but then, yeah. Anyways, they could have just aligned it a little bit better, but we get it.
An ongoing fusion event will be required for this feature to be available. You also won't be able to change to a champion that you've already obtained during their original fusion. Fragment summon or via shards, and once you've changed once, that's it, you're committed. You can't change the champion again, so choose wisely. Here's some good news though. If you changed the champion out but didn't complete the fusion for whatever reason, any fusion tokens you spent will be refunded. And last but not
all right, guys, so I want to quickly touch upon this fusion tokens system that they're going to put in. And I think this is probably the most interesting part of this video and probably where there's most questions related. So I want to touch upon this a little bit here. So first, let's jump into this image here I have on the right, which is basically the screenshots as close as I can get it from all of the tier 1 and tier 2, and then we have the first row of the tier 3s. Now we don't get the full row of tier 3 champions, but we can basically allude to them. Now throughout the entire history of Raid, there's probably about 60, 70, at least probably 70 fusions in total. So we can kind of see here in tier 1, which is the top tier, which is the highest token cost or the best quality fusions, there's 20 fusions. And then in tier 2, there's going to be 24, which means there's a total of 44, and which means tier 3 is going to have all the rest. We can also see that in every single tier, every single fusion is available, basically meaning that traditional fusions are available, fragment fusions are available. So all the fusions since the beginning are going to be here. We don't see any fusion epics, obviously, so it's just going to be fusion legendaries, and it gives you a general sense of what the overall quality that Plarium associates with each one of these fusions will be. If you're looking for a fusion and it's not in this image, it's probably going to be in tier 3, which is going to cost you only 1 token. Now, quickly looking at this last row here, we have Greta, we have Jeroboam, we have the Incarnate, we have Timid, we have the Nari the Lucky, we have Versolf, we have Yoshi, and then of course we have Brachus in the far left here. So that's going to be the tier 3 level of fusion that we're talking about. You can kind of see tier 2 pretty clearly. We got Supreme Elhain, we got Vlad, Maria, Tholen, Esme, Hatter, etc., right? And then you have tier 1, which are the most premium fusions that Plarium views. Now this is going to be interesting because some of these ratings made by Plarium are going to be perhaps slightly off, right? And then we can find some more valuable kind of pickups in perhaps lower tiers. Like, for example, Maria. Maria could easily be a tier 1 damage dealer, but it's in tier 2. Just an example, right? Same thing with Hatter. Hatter could easily be a tier 1 champion, but they put it in tier 2. And on the flip side, we have tier 1. We have Yuki Masa here in tier 1. I mean, I think that's slightly overvalued for 3 tokens. Maybe even somebody like Estrid would be slightly overvalued as a 3 token tier 1 fusion. Just some examples of some, maybe underrated, overrated champions on this list. But hopefully it gives you guys a rough sense of where you guys could potentially be targeting for your first token. Now, there's a couple questions here that require some kind of clarification, because in the video, it actually shows only champions during this kind of hybrid or traditional style of fusion. So something like this. It doesn't show anything about fragment fusions. However, we know fragment fusions are in the tier 1, 2, and 3 list of fusions that you can choose from. Now, I did find some clarification on some of these questions that we may be asking here. So first of all, they decided if you decide to switch the fusion, you forfeit the ability to complete the fusion at the moment for the current fusion for the previous one. That totally makes sense, right? So let's say you complete a fusion and now you want to swap. Obviously, you don't get credit for the current existing fusion. You only get credit for the past fusion that you're swapping to. Now, here's the big thing that people might need clarification on. Switching is only available during mixed and classic fusions. Like I said, the video only shows it happening during these hybrid or traditional style fusions. And, it's been confirmed that this can only happen. So this system only happens for hybrid and traditional fusions only, not possible during fragment collecting events. And here's the other big question to be answered. Tokens will only be obtained when completing classic and mixed fusions, not fragment events, guys. This actually has pretty significant kind of consequences on everything, because if you think about it, during a year, if you even separated mixed hybrid and mixed traditional and fragment fusions, the 3 different types, evenly throughout the entire year, you're giving up a third of all your fusions in the year. And those third of the fusions, you don't get any tokens for, right? So if you were in the market for, let's say, several of the tier 1 or 3 token cost champions. So like, for example, here's the list again, right? Let's say in the tier 1 category, you're looking for, let's say, for example, you're looking for Lady Noelle and Sir Nicholas, right? You want both of them. Now, you can only get the tokens to trade for them from hybrid and traditional fusions only. And these are fusions that you have to complete. So first, you have to complete at least a minimum of 3 just to get the tokens. And then you have to complete a 4th fusion that has to be a traditional or hybrid fusion. And then you can sub that 4th one to swap into Lady Noelle. And then if you wanted Sir Nick, it would take another 3 tokens and then a 4th completion of another hybrid and traditional fusion so that you can swap into Sir Nick. This, potentially takes about a year. So in 1 year's time, if you complete every single hybrid and traditional fusion available to you, on average, you'll probably get 2 tier 1 fusions. Now, like I said, going from, not being able to get tokens from fragments and not being able to do the swap while doing without fragments basically increases the time it takes to get these tokens, and then subsequently the swapping for the fusions, and then also increases the difficulty, because we know that the fragment fusions are the easiest fusion to complete. I think this system is actually very, very clever by Plarium, because it's basically saying to people that, hey, there is no more easy skip type of fusion anymore. If you wanted a old powerful fusion, you have to complete these fusions so that you get the tokens. Otherwise, it's going to take you forever. So I think it's a very, very clever system from Plarium to basically improve player engagement for fusions that are not necessarily that great. And this also allows them some flexibility with creating fusions that are not necessarily that great. I feel that at least in recent times, they probably have been maybe facing some pressure to release fusions that are better than average so that people will participate in them, obviously to generate more money and so forth, but also to keep up player engagement. Now with this fusion exchange system, they don't need to actually have insane fusion offerings every month just to keep up engagement. They can offer mediocre fusions and people will still go for them just to acquire these tokens so that they can trade them in for, you know, something that they really want, like Newt or Titus, for example, or Wixwell. So I think this is a very clever way from Plarium. What does this mean for people? This means that if you are targeting a tier 1 champion, it means that you need to be extremely certain that this tier 1 champion is going to do some serious good for your account, because it's going to set back the timeline or the progress on your account by a significant margin if you go out of your way doing bad fusions just to sub out for one of these old fusions. So you have to make sure that the one you're trading it in for and the one that you're spending all this time on is actually going to be significant for your account. The other big thing is that if you have already acquired these champions from other avenues like shards, or you complete the fusions in the past, you can't get dupes of them. So there's no empowerment, there's no faction guardians or anything like that. Like, that's totally fine. I totally get it. I'm literally looking at this list and the only champion I don't have is Morrigan. The only champion I don't have on this screenshot is Morrigan. And yeah, I'll probably go for it at some point, you know, trade in my tokens, but I do all the fusions anyways. And this is on both my accounts. So this system doesn't really affect someone like myself, but this system is going to be really, really good for players looking for a key champion for a specific team. For example, Titus stands out, for example. Wixwell stands out, for example. If you missed Armans, if you missed Fabian, those are going to be really, really good. But overall, this system is going to be a huge hit because it allows, you know, free players or players that haven't been playing that long or missed these fusions because they weren't playing the game at that time, an opportunity to get those fusions. It's just going to take them time. So that's just my 2 cents there. Let's finish it up here.
The Minotaur's labyrinth. Right now, only one champion per battle receives mastery scrolls, and any surplus is lost if that champion is close to the scroll limit. We're working on changing that so that surplus scrolls will go to a teammate with the highest number of equivalent scrolls instead. Keep in mind that this only works for champions who participate in the battle. Sitting around and sipping on XP brews in the tavern won't cut the mustard. It's nearly time to...
I think that's a pretty good update. Like, it just gives a little bit extra for people that are trying to min-max their Minotaur scrolls. So now all the scrolls will actually go on champions instead of just going into nothing. So I think that's an obviously good change.
Draw a curtain on our 10th episode, but we've just got enough time to uphold tradition and show off a quick glimpse at some of our upcoming champions. Don't forget.
All right, so that's going to be it. Some quick snapshots at some champions there. Obviously, the Argonite faction is under the microscope right now. And it looks like there's going to be a couple of them too. So perhaps the faction is going to be coming pretty soon here. Anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was informative for you guys. Like I said, the big update here is probably going to be the past fusion system that they're going to be implementing. I gave my thoughts on that. Hopefully I was able to answer some of your questions as well. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the upcoming preview. Thanks for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.